Hello, welcome to ASL 120. My name is John O'Laughlin, and I am your professor for this semester. We do have an interpreter here. Her name is Karina, and she will be interpreting for this class. And I went ahead and pinned the interpreter so you can just see what the interpreter's role, what they look like. And if you are a grammar nerd, you can kind of compare how she interprets and goes back and forth between the English and ASL. All right. I know many of you may be nervous, many of you may be excited. Probably some of you, I assume, think this may be an easy class. And I just want to let you know a fun fact. ASL is one of the most difficult languages to learn just because of the complexities that come with it. It's not only signing, but also we have facial expressions, the understanding of culture cues, the grammatical structure. And before I go any further, or we jump ahead of ourselves, I can just make sure that we start at the beginning level of ASL 1. That's where you need to make sure that you are ready to go ahead and immerse yourselves. It's really important to keep that responsibility in mind. So you all are online asynchronous, which means that we will independently watch the lectures that I post and you will complete the assignments. And that may look like there are some, not too much teacher to student interactions, but it'll require you to work with your other classmates. It will require you to do your assignments in pairs. And the reason why that is important is because I want you all to learn the language, and it's important that you have those interactions to be able to use the language. And that comes with experience, practice. The more you use it, the more you converse with your Zoom classmates, so to speak, the more you are able to retain and remember the language by the time that you are going to take ASL 2. So my hope is that you all, I'm not going to torture you, but my goal is that you all enjoy the process of learning the language. So if you all have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If there are any specific grammar questions, feel free to ask. Sometimes there are words that have multiple meanings, and that Okay, so now we had some internet issues and those have been resolved. So when you see words come up such as run, I believe there are 27 different meanings, and that comes with different signs. So I'll give you an example, such as my nose is running. Does that mean that my nose has legs and it's going to jump off my face and zoom away? No, it's running. That's the sign for it. And another example, water is running. Does that mean water is running away? No, water is running, like this sign. So, for example, another one, I'm running. I would use this sign. Or let's see, I'm running for office. I would sign this sign for running. So there are many different examples that I will show you throughout the semester. So that is important for you all to realize, and especially if you want to work with deaf folks, it's important to remember. And before I continue, I would like to start by showing you all Canvas, just to get yourself acclimated with using it and what it may look like. Just to remember how I'm going to be setting up the class. It's going to be same week in and out, week by week. It's going to be the same. And really, it's predictable. A lot of similarity throughout the weeks, but also it comes with that responsibility of having to watch the lectures, the modules, having to practice. It's really important and critical that you do that. If you feel like it's a lot, I suggest you taking a in-person class because what we do here through the online courses is exactly the same in the in-person classes, really. All right, let's get going. So here is for the ASL 1 course, and you can go ahead and review the front page at your leisure. Also the syllabus, typically we would sign silly bus, or yeah, that's how we typically translate it. So go ahead and click on the syllabus. And from here, you can see the structure of the course. So please do review this. And that's where you just need to understand how I will be evaluating you all and your work. I will base it off of this weight percentage that you see here. And you will notice that there are 5 self uh, observations as well as 5 unit assessments. Really, they are tests. And from production all the way to comprehension. So I will grade it by those 5 on each of those. And as you can see highlighted here, it's a little bit of a difference. So I can touch on the difference later, more in depth. Uh, I think that's about everything that I need to share with you on that. So alrighty here. And okay, one other thing. When you all are doing your video assignments, please make sure that you read and review this portion here that's highlighted. Okay, just because some students have gotten into a bad habit. Well, I don't want to say gotten into a bad habit, but it's more of a cultural practice or a norm in your culture, but it's not always, it doesn't always work for deaf culture. I'll give you one example that my hearing brother and sister typically do. So, say you're FaceTiming with a friend, and it may look like this. And the camera is starting at your nose going up, and you can't see your hands when you're signing. While it may work for your culture, and that's a practice in your culture, that's fine. You can hear, of course, but for me as a deaf person, it doesn't work so well. How can I grade your work if I only see your eyes and your forehead like this? So I am sure you have a better idea of what it should look like from here on out. So if I do see that, I will just ask you to redo the assignment, and if it happens again, then I'll give you a 0. All right. Okay, so different things that we're going to touch on, mental health, computers, all of that. So I suggest reading that. If you need any tutoring, there's different resources here. Now, the topics that we are going to cover throughout the semester, we're really going to follow them in order as listed here. And you can see what I have highlighted here. Online interactive assignment plus the unit project, they are required. So you see 4 listed here. Those first 4 are required. And when you get to the end of the semester, there will be a 5th, as you can see down here that I'm highlighting now. That 5th one, that 5th interactive activity in the project, that 5th one is not required. So here's the deal. We don't have a midterm. We don't have a final exam. So you may wonder what we're going to do in place of that. It's a unit project that we have in our online activities. And that's where I will grade things just to make sure that you are doing your part in your signing. For example, with Unit 1, if you're finishing up on your assignments, Unit 2, you finish all your assignments, but Unit 3, you happen to miss some that assignment, then I will give you a 0. If you complete the 4th, once you get to the 5th, that's your opportunity to make up your missing assignment on Unit 3 that you got a 0 for. So you would make it up or replace it with unit number 5, that project there, and the different assignments that come with it. So say you finish the first 4, you finish 1 through 4, and you take a look at your grade letter. Maybe it's 89.9%, possibly B plus. That is a small hint that you may want to complete the Unit 5 optional assignment, that project, and it will help to pull up your grade to an A. It should pull it up to an A. And really, the choice is yours. And I do admit it's worked for many students. It's less stressful, so it just gives them more reason to complete their work early on in the semester. All right, and now if you're wondering what the structure will look like, we can move on to the modules, and I can show you that. We will be covering Unit 1, and we have a block of assignments there. We won't touch on anything further than that because they all look similar. All right. Okay, waiting for it to load. So you go ahead and click modules. Takes a little while. All right. So say you can't see the video. If you go ahead and click it and you want to see the sign, the dictionary, if you can't access the dictionary, that means that you have not completed the student enrollment. So if that's the case, then you have to go ahead and complete the student enrollment here. And if you're able to see the videos and you are able to use the dictionary, then you're all set. It means you've gotten it out of the way. So now you'll see the welcome, get to know your professor. If you want to go more in depth, let me know. But really, this kind of gives you all of the answers or information you may need. So you can see here, meet your professor. There you have it. And so now we can get started. Okay, take some time. Okay, so the Unit 1 module here. So all of the lectures, the videos that you will have to watch are housed here. Now, if you want to download a PowerPoint and take a look at it, you're able to. For example, I'll show you here. Okay. So you can help yourself. I see. Okay. Before we do move on, Unit 1.3. That is a specific unit or section, I should say, that's really, really, really critical. And it's intensive. There's a lot of grammar rules involved. I can't emphasize it enough that if you just are here to learn signs, I will give you a lot of feedback. Say, if you are learning signs and you're able to incorporate the grammar rules and understand how to use the grammatical rules by following subject, verb, object, and you're able to switch it around to OSV, object, subject, verb, and move it around, and you can understand how to use WH questions, what, where, why, how, which, all of that. If you know how to use the WH questions, that structure. I'll give you 4 different ways, that sort of thing. Once you have a good understanding of that, the grammatical structure, you will, or 99.9% guaranteed that you will not struggle at all for the entire ASL 1 course. And then once you move on to ASL 2, you'll learn more in depth on the grammatical rules, such as rhetorical questions, different conditional statements, conditional clauses, all of that. You'll go more in depth. But most importantly, you must have a good understanding of the WH questions. Also, the yes or no questions that, for those types of questions, you need to raise your eyebrows. For example, an easy question would be, do you like cars? And you can switch it around. Cars you like? So that's an example. Even though it's not grammatically correct in English, it still makes sense in American Sign Language. So I know many of you will become much more comfortable with subject, verb, object order, excuse me. That sounds more grammatically structurally correct in English. And then when you switch it around to object, subject, verb, that's more of a challenge to grasp for the basic grammatical structure for an ASL user. I'm sorry, for a non-native ASL user, I should say. So that's where I want you to really have a good understanding of the ASL grammatical rules from Unit 1.3, that section. When we get to that point and you get a good idea of it, there's no reason for you to struggle really after that. All right. So 1.3, remember that section. That is next week. Okay. So going back a bit, waiting for it to load. There we go. So now I will show you the video. And here you have it. So I have different videos. You can enlarge it if you'd like. Okay. Once again, waiting for it to load. All right, so now we will focus on Unit 1. So please do review the weekly objectives, as you can see here. So the objectives give you an idea of what to expect for that coming week, as you can see on the page here. So you can click the video, all right? Taking a bit of time. Okay, so here you can see the cultural and the language, different parts of the module. There are different short videos up to about a minute. Some are 30 seconds or so, and it gives you different ideas and different exposure. So you can become familiar with ASL and the culture before you take the quiz at the end. So that is a snapshot quiz. I'll show you an example quickly. So signing space, you may wonder what that means. So you're able to watch the video as well as read the English transcript. So it's a good opportunity for you to see how the signer translates the English transcript. So you can see here, remember what I was talking about before with the camera frame? You don't want it to be nose and forehead. So that's one example, signing space, how you can make it more culturally appropriate or friendly for deaf people who are watching your videos. All right, it's taking some time. My internet is pretty slow. Heads up. Okay, and now there's a practice. It's optional. It won't be rated, but it is good for you to be able to practice. All right. So this is an example, just a review. So what's the answer? Learn. There you have it. So you can practice. It's not required, but like I said, it's encouraged. Okay, and still waiting on it to load. All right. So this is actual homework, work study, as well as a quiz. So really everything is there for you to proceed and move throughout the unit. Now, since this week will be your first week, it's important for you all to review, look at the wrap up, make sure you didn't miss anything before you go ahead to the second week. So please, please just find your Zoom partner because that is who you'll be working with for the next few weeks. And that's who will help you practice your expression skills, your signing skills. And so I'll open it to give you an idea of what it looks like. This is due Saturday. So what we will do is this here, as you can see, and we'll be working on the dialogue scripts. That's weekly. Some are short, some are a bit longer, but it's still manageable. And now, as you can see here, it's optional for those last two. So really, it's up to you. You can do the unit project. You could do number one, you could do that independently, or you can partner up. But as long as you complete all of the requirements for both partners on both ends, I'm fine with it. And two comments there. I suggest you all get busy. You have what? Let's see, 3 days left. So like I said, this is an interactive class. It's not something where you just kind of take an online class and you leave all the assignments until the last minute and then you get to rushing to submitting them. I won't accept that. So, uh, how should I say this? In a nice way. I have had enough experience with those last minute type of students to the point where I realized it's better off for you all to become more aware of when to submit and to do it on time. All right, so now the introduction, introducing yourself, that's important because that's part of the census. If you don't complete that by August 26th, then I will have to drop you from the class, unfortunately. Okay. All right, perfect. So I see all the responses here. Beautiful. Okay. So you all have until the 26th. That's next Tuesday. So just a reminder, which ironically is my father's birthday. So he will be 68. And he was with me. I was like, you are about to be a 68-year-old man and you look what, 50? It's funny. All right, moving right along. So that's an idea of this week. And then the following week, it's the same setup. That's what it looks like. So you're able to move along. And the difference is that you'll start to work with your Zoom partner, as you can see here. So I'm going to click it and show you. So please do follow the instructions that are listed here. Pick 5 scripts, and you'll see them all here. One second. So no surprises, really. This comes from the PowerPoint that I already presented on through the video. So you'll see my signing examples. They're already there of the scripts. And you'll see the markers such as like an underscore Q, WHQ. That's your guide to basically show which motion of your eyebrows. If it's a yes or no cue, you put your eyebrows up. If it's a WH question, then you may furrow your brows. So you might feel awkward at first, but really for deaf people, facial expressions, that's the equivalent to hearing people's vocal intonations. For example, do you like cookies? I would say, you like cookies? But your voice, your intonation would go up. Do you like cookies? You see how the intonation goes up and my eyebrows raise. That's our intonation. So another question, why do you like cookies? I would sign it like this. I would furrow my brows. Why do you like cookies? Your intonation will drop. Like, why do you like cookies? Or cookies, do you like? Why? Or why do you like cookies? You see that intonation kind of drop off. So it's important for you all to become comfortable with that. All right. Okay. So you can see the scripts here, and you will be working with your Zoom partner. All right. You can pick anyone. So that starts next week. All right. And yes, you gotta get some hands up experience. You gotta get to signing. It's on. Okay. So week 3, same setup, same thing. You can see that there, same thing. So really, you may notice with week 1, week 2, and week 3, they're all listed here. And now with week 3.5, you see something different that may feel kind of odd, like, why would my professor try to confuse me? But honestly, I'm trying to help you out. So what I used to do, really, I would put all of the assessments, all of the script projects, all of that by the end of the 3rd week. Everything would be due by Sunday. All of the snapshots. I realized that caused a lot of stress. So instead of having it due by the 3rd week for all of those assignments, you have to do them during the 3rd week. However, they will be due by the end of the 4th week now. So instead of being due by the end of that 3rd week, I moved it to the end of the 4th week, and you'll start to learn Unit 2 materials while you are completing your Unit 1 assessment and the different things for Unit 1. So I can show you what that looks like quickly. Deaf culture. Really, it's really, really cool. I think you all will enjoy it. Also, the timber. That is the folktale that we have. My hands are just messing up on me. That's folklore. I meant to say that's folklore that we have in the deaf community, and it's something that you should know about. So you can see your assessments here. And now, same thing, same process. You got your Unit 1 project, and that's basically your midterm, so to speak, somewhat. So make sure that you do follow the expectations. As long as you meet all of the requirements, you check off all of the necessary boxes, and you're good to go. I really do want to see your guys' creativity here. All right. And if you need any examples, you could just scroll down and see some here. So there you have it. That's one example. So it looks difficult. It may seem difficult, but honestly, by then you have already learned this. So really, I'm doing this approach. I've been doing it for the past 4 years now, and it seems to work. So you all will like it. It may be a bit more work, yes, but you will realize the benefits of it all. It's just that now it's a blessing that you don't have to deal with all of it by the end of the third week and that stress. It's moved to that following fourth week to give you some more time, which means that you'll have approximately what, maybe 2 weeks to complete everything. All right. And so now, lastly, one more thing. Last but not least, it's still equally important. Waiting for it to load. Okay. That interactive dialogue chain, number one. That is where you're able to interact with different classmates who are in your class. And you'll see many different hairstyles from me, honestly, because over the last 2 years, I've switched it up a lot. I've shaved it, I've had short hair, I had a long beard, I had a mustache, all these different styles. So I hope you get a bit used to that later and seeing different styles in the videos. But as you can see, we have that there. So you can see me signing, and then I will ask two questions. And then the first student who is doing their video, they will have to respond to my two questions. For example, you can see there. Did you see that question? I asked, are you deaf? Are you all deaf? And the next student would have to say, yes, I'm deaf, or no, I'm not deaf. And then they would go on to commenting or signing maybe something similar or a different question for the next student. So that next student would then answer that previous student's vlog, the questions, and so on and so forth. They would go down the line of students. All right. And the purpose of that is the more language use, the more exposure you'll have. And it'll be easier for you all to retain and have that understanding of the language and build upon those skills. So for us to be able to move forward to ASL2, we'll need that. So that's kind of the basics, the foundation on what the class looks like, what the structure will look like for the rest of the semester. So by about maybe the third week, I will open up Unit 2 and we can move right along. So, what I can emphasize for you all now is to really practice your language use. Yes, vocabulary, but also it's very important for you all to be able to translate, to be able to show that expressive skill and know the ASL structure. So, if you find yourself becoming too reliant on English, the grammar order, SVO, that's okay, but please do try to discipline yourself by using different structures. All right. And that's the goal. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So I think I am about finished. Let's see here. So you can see all of the modules, the weeks. All right. I think I covered everything that I needed to touch on. And please do find a Zoom partner, okay, and get to it now because we'll start signing next week. This week is more so of your warm-up week. you're kind of getting a feel for the class, seeing if you like your professor or you hate your professor. Either way, I get it. Really, my goal is to teach online classes and make it as similar as it can be to those face-to-face classroom classes. So those skills can be easily transferable to the real world. Let's see. If you have any questions related to the major, grammar, vocab, you need help with anything of that sort, go ahead and inbox me. I look forward to working with you all this semester, and I want to also thank the interpreter, Karina, for being here and interpreting for this recording today. And I hope you all can take a look at how she translated and interpreted so you can see kind of a better understanding of what you will be learning pretty soon. All right. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording. Thanks.